Hey everyone, I'm Sage Valentine and welcome to my channel of the same name. Right now I'm going to review CBS's Survivor, Season 30, Episode 12, Worlds Apart. Now I should have known that Dan was going to go home tonight because it seemed like the cameras were shading Dan a little bit, bringing his name up a little bit, showing clips of him a little bit more, so I should have known. But it still was surprising. But not as surprising as the hold that Mike has on the rest of the team. Because Mike is, as I've said before, a super fan. He's watched probably every season leading up to this one. And he's using those strategies against the other players. And the players are just falling into place. So if I was going to think of one person that could win this game, Mike is a big contender. The only problem is that if someone else wins immunity and then they're able to get Mike out and somebody else finds an idol, unless of course there's another Tyler Perry idol hidden somewhere, and then it is what it is, but that's the only way I could see them getting out Mike. But at this point, everybody believes him. Everybody is on his side. So I don't know how they're going to get this dude out. But let me tell you, he wanted Dan out for a while, and he finally got Dan out. And the reason why Dan left was not only because of the fact that Carolyn knew about his little advantage, not only the fact that Mike wanted him out, but the fact that, Dan was a little bit too sure of himself in this game. I've been side-eyeing him probably since, I guess, episode 1, episode 2, when he was just acting like he knew everything. And then when he went to Sharon, and then he was telling her how to play this game, telling her that she was at the bottom, even though she didn't know she was at the bottom. And then I reiterated, Dan, you're also at the bottom, obviously, but he didn't think he was. And then it was just the fact that, he had that advantage and just held on to it for all this time. And then finally used it. But when he used it, it was at the wrong time for him, but at the right time for Mike. So was I surprised that Mike won immunity? No, because Mike is a beast. I'm not sure what's going on as far as these immunity competitions, but Mike is killing them. I'm not saying anybody's cheating, no, but I'm saying Mike is killing them. That's another reason why I think that Mike trained for this. He's good at puzzles. He's good at this physical stuff. Mike is good. Rodney, on the other hand, is not. But then during this episode, Rodney was also kind of annoying in the fact that he was bringing up once again that he wanted to win a reward and somebody should give him their place in the next reward because he hasn't had one. He's the only one that hasn't had a reward. Now, see, if this was another season, people probably would have done that. However, because Rodney is not the nicest person and hasn't been this entire season, that is the reason why nobody is accommodating him in that way. If he was nicer, probably. And the fact that he still thinks because it was his birthday, he should have received that reward, and because, he was talking to Mama C, and Mama C said that she might give up her reward for him, and then when she decided not to, he got upset. But he had no reason to get upset because Mama C didn't have to give him anything. Nothing at all. Mama C considered it. But in this game of superfans, people don't have to do anything. But it was pretty funny how Carolyn started to waver as to whether or not she should give the reward, her seat in that helicopter, to Rodney. Then all of a sudden she decided no. And then she rode in that helicopter with Will and Mike. And then they went to enjoy their wine, their green drink, and their lobster and steak surf and turf. Meanwhile, Rodney sat on the beach just complaining and complaining. And I was so glad Sierra told him, dude, I don't even want to talk about this. So we get back to the red trio, and Mike is talking about him and Carolyn and Will being the final three. Now, Carolyn is kind of like going through the motions, but in her head, she's like, I don't know if I can trust Mike. And, you know, I have a good position. But if Mike loses immunity tonight, I'm going to vote him out. And then Will basically tells Mike to his face, which is the one thing I respect him for in this entire game, when he told him, like, Mike, I don't know about you because you keep winning stuff and you're going to continue to win all of these immunity challenges up until the finale. And yeah, he's 100% correct. Alrighty, so back at the beach, Rodney, Dan, and Sierra decide that they want Mike and Carolyn out. Should one of them lose immunity now? All of a sudden, when they get back to camp, Mike is talking to Sierra about getting rid of Dan and part of the Wrestling Alliance, while Sierra basically wants Mike out. Then Mike wins immunity, blowing everybody else's plans out of the water. And now the five have to turn on one another. At first the target is Carolyn, then the target changes to Dan, and then Mike decides he doesn't want to get rid of Dan. He wants to get rid of somebody else besides Dan to completely mess up that whole alliance. And then Mike tries to go to Dan and tell him, like, the alliance is after you. Dan is not listening, which is why I'm not surprised that he went home tonight. And then he says that he doesn't believe anything that Mike says. And then Mike goes to the girls and basically tells them, like, the guys are going to vote you guys out. Like, you guys need to figure out who you're going to get rid of. And they're like, look at Rodney and Dan sleeping in the tent. Those two feel safe. I respect him for that statement, because that is a statement of someone who's been watching this show, because anytime anybody's just laying around, chilling around, not doing anything, 9 out of 10 times they feel like they're still going to be in this game. Mike at the tribal council admits that one of the five is going to go home. Carolyn feels like she's proven herself. Dan knows that he's on the chopping block. Then Jeff starts talking about advantages and stuff, and how people should use them, and aren't these people threats, and such and such and such. So now all of a sudden, the votes, I think they start voting, and then it comes time for Dan to vote. Dan uses his advantage, which makes everybody smirk. And then all of a sudden, Carolyn decides she's going to use her advantage. And in the end, Dan goes home 2 votes to 4 votes. So, and because Carolyn's votes obviously didn't count. So, and Dan was voted out, and I'm not surprised. I guess this is karma coming back to bite him in the butt after the way that he talked to Sharon. So I'm assuming Will is next to get his behind bitten. So until next time, you guys take care. I'm Sage Valentine signing off. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, rate this video, leave your comments about this season. Hit me up at Sage Valentine on Twitter and Google+. And give me your prediction as to who you think is going to win this season, because to me it's looking like a Mike landslide. Alright guys, love you. Bye guys. Bye.